Live with passion, love what you do, and never stop learning. Today, I'm going to be interviewing an amazing lady, Ragne Sinikas. She's with us today. And my focus in all these interviews that I'm doing is to really lead through uncertain times, to bring in hope, bring strategies, bring ideas into your home, to your life, and so that you can share with your friends, your family members. So, like I said, with me is Miss Ragne Sinikas. She is the founder of World Women Conference and Awards. She is you founded the Untoldstory Foundation. Is that true? Am I saying it correctly? And she is passionate in serving others by coaching the Lady Change Maker and the Circle of Change Makers. So I'm going to let you kind of introduce yourself if I missed anything, because you do so many amazing things, and I know that you are here to support the world in so many ways. So.
Yes, well, I truly have found my passion, I think, and I think today what the main difference is how I was thinking before and how I actually live today is that not to find our purpose, but live with our purpose, and there's a big difference. So if we keep on looking for it the rest of our lives, then we'll never get to enjoy it. So
exactly.
To be very exact, it's living with a purpose, and obviously it's never it's always in a change and in a process, like they say as it is with a leadership now. Mm-hmm. So the day that you stop learning new things, or you think that you are the experts, then this is your death of the personal growth. So for me, yes, everything that you just mentioned. Also, my professional background actually goes back to everything regarding real estate. You name it, I have done it. So that was sort of my DNA for many years.
Right.
Back when I was actually working and living in Europe, in Estonia, where I'm from, and that has helped me to understand and also to see how to survive as a woman in very masculine world, no?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By me moving to Mexico, now I'm living in Mexico, that helped me a lot, because obviously we all know the coming from Europe, where it is still that you need to, if you are a woman and in a corporate life, you do need to prove yourself. Mm-hmm. But it's even more difficult in Latin countries, because the woman is still very feminine. They should be home, they should be taking care of the kids, and their focus should be more on the home and the kids. So obviously not everybody is like this. I have been very lucky with the company that I'm working with, and with the investors and everybody who have believed in me. Obviously, I'm very grateful for them. But nevertheless, I have learned also from those experiences that where you sort of step into a boardroom and everybody's looking at you, oh, what? And obviously my name doesn't help either. So if you know that the Ragne Sinikas is coming, you even don't know if it's a she or a he, because it's the name is very
unique. It's really unique. But I think it empowers you as a woman, Ragne Sinikas. That sounds really powerful, when you're looking at a name and when you're saying it. I always believe in energy, energy. And when you say something and you voice it, and when you stand with that name, I think it gives it power as a woman. And I've seen the work that you've been doing throughout, I think, the world, because I think you have, tell us more about the world, it's an association that you have. Tell us a little bit more about that, and what is it that you do there, and why you founded it.
Let's say that the whole idea of the World Women's Conference and Awards actually came or grow from from the little program which we started here in Mexico, which is called the Youth Initiative for the Business and Co-worker Center, which I created here, which is called Coral Desk. So we were seeing that there's a lot of kids which are very enthusiastic and passionate and driven to learn new skills, but they didn't have the means to go to the university or never even to imagine that they can study abroad or just to go even to a different city out of from Los Cabos, which is a little peninsula, no? So we started to bring different experts of their fields, and they started to mentor those kids. So we saw how much that impacted our small community, and then those programs have helped a lot of kids, also giving them opportunities and access to actually work. Mm-hmm. They have been hired after that, and the main change for me, and what one day when I realized what the real impact was, I was in tears, because one of the cases, I don't want to mention names until it's very delicate, but one of the let's say the strongest case which we gave opportunity for a 19 years old girl to work with our mentors, and after that the mentor decided to hire the girl, and 2 months later we actually knew, or she was telling her story, that she was very grateful, and she couldn't thank enough, because that opportunity opened up the way that she could actually move out from the house that she was mentally and physically abused every day. So understanding those impacts, and understanding that actually every single business owner can have that impact in their own communities, like open up your eyes, see the people, give them the opportunities, like those are incredible people, because they work and so much more. They make that much bigger effort in order to get there, which the other people take for granted. It's like, and you see the differences, and I've been really blessed to have that. And while we started to work with that, there was also another foundations which reached out to me and said, you know what, we like what you do. Can we apply that also with the programs that we are doing ourselves? So fast forward in October, was like, oh my God, I've been like now doing the work in so many different countries. Mm-hmm. There must be so many people that are doing what I'm doing, but they're alone, as I was, obviously with the foundations then. And then I have my very good friend from Nigeria, and he was like, why don't we like do something more impactful? Why don't we do a conference where we take those women or people which are working with girls and women together, and really impact them and create the synergies among all of that community. So so we have the best practices. We can also see even to the government level how we can work all together in this. Mm-hmm. So the idea was born. We have been working. Our launching events should have been this year, obviously. We are all grounded. Right. Only the virtual ones, but yeah, 2021 is going to be the start where we are going to bring all those leaders together in a physical place. Wow. Nevertheless, we already work with different programs, and also now from the community level, we also launched a project which is called Dominate the Decade. And how to dominate the decade under the current circumstances that we are all facing. So we all have different environments, but our problems are very similar. So what do we do in order to solve them, and how can we actually communicate the best case scenarios. So the best example is again to say, why don't we in Latin America learn what is happening in Europe, which is the most impacted. US is already very, very near there, that they are surpassing those numbers are, or like by death they already surpassed, which is absolutely tragic, no? So there's so many things that where we see that if we had the communication and if we would have the vision to see out of it, like we all know we are in this situation, okay, but now as a leader, and I really do not envy any of the leaders of any country, because those decisions which you need to take in order in those situations are tremendous. Even if you're a business owner and you have employees, can you imagine what the presidents, the prime ministers are like? This is huge responsibility that needs to be in those decisions. Nobody has been there. So how do you think in those moments?
Because people are in their hands, like everybody's in these leaders' hands. But I'm thinking, you know, you're talking about living in passion and loving what you do. And if people stand in their leadership role and they really love that responsibility, and yes, it's a hard decision to make, right? Because you're making it for people. But what can we do as leaders? I mean, even as women leaders, because I think that's who you stand for and really speak up for. What action do you think they need to take as leaders right now to impact the world in this type of circumstance?
I think the number one is really reach out on community levels. Like I think what we try always to do is to see the big picture and start to change the world. We can't. The situation worldwide, globally, it is already what it is. What we can do is that we go very to the lower level of, or to the really to the core of our community here, where I am physically. What can I do here? How can I fix the things here? How can I just take myself out, see from 30 feet up above, okay, this is what is going on. Here people are without work. Those people are without food. Those people are going to be without electricity. Those people are without medicine. Those people are like, we need to start to see by the needs, by the problems that every single community member is having. But that means that we need to have the communication one. We have a lot of non-profits which can help, but they're also like, okay, where do we run? What do we do? So to be honest, I'm living in a community where the non-profits are very well prepared. Why? We have hurricanes every year. So we like those situations where people do not have the elementary things like hygiene, food, what is the supply chain for food, medicines, all of that. So we already have practiced it. We already have the experiences. Okay, what do we do? How do we make it happen? The hardest thing is that we have a problem with donors because the donors are also in trouble. So that's the thing. And I really liked, just yesterday we had a very interesting talk with Clayton Ferreira, and he's one of the for a nonprofit in actually in Orlando,
right?
And he said a very, very smart thing regarding the non-profits, that we really should go to the level that we do get to know our numbers, where we are, how much money do we have, how long will we last, what are our essential, what we need today, and what we can cut off, and also look for the collaboration with other non-profits. If I have money, the other one have maybe manpower. How can we collaborate? How we can actually make it work for both of the nonprofits? And I think there's two ways for most of the nonprofits, whether they merge with someone or whether they just go into bankruptcy and they disappear. So unfortunately, like, this is the part, like, as a leadership from the community point of view can really impact on those levels.
Right. And you know what I'm also thinking, because I'm all about joint ventures, I'm all about how do we as entrepreneurs, as business owners, how do we support each other? How do we promote each other? And I'm thinking that a lot of people that might be losing their jobs, I'm thinking one of the things they can do is reach out to businesses and try to do work virtually for them, whether it's at a reduced cost or they could do it for free. One, they would gain experience. Two, they could help the entrepreneur. Once all this is over, I think it's going to burst. There's going to be a bursting moment where the economy eventually will go back up. I think the money's there. It's just not being used because people are at home. But once they see their quality and their skills, don't you think that these individuals would have new opportunities for new businesses or jobs?
Well, you're right, but we also need to see a little of the what is the main income source for the areas. Mm-hmm. For example, I can give you a good example with Los Cabos tourism. 90% of all businesses are based on that, and that means that for 90% of us, any type of revenue is cut off. From today, the 1st of April, until the end of April, absolutely every single hotel is closed. Mm-hmm. So now it depends a lot. There's a lot of hotels which were able to maintain the employees with a minimum salary. Mm-hmm. But there is a lot which cannot handle that. Mm-hmm. So if someone goes back to that business owner, obviously the business owner is currently in a situation. I have a huge amount of employees. The government, depending what type of substitution are already in place, do they help? Do they have put the measures in place that you don't need to pay taxes or for certain times, or they give you some type of relief, or even banks? So the most,
is that happening or no?
Exactly. The business owner has so many responsibilities, one from the government side and from in front of the employees, that it really depends, like how well they have planned their future. If they have their deposits, my God, those people today would say, you know what, I can maintain my employees. Everything is going to be fine. We don't freak out. We don't panic. Everything is just going to be fine. We need to survive that moment, and we are ready for those. Mm-hmm. I would say most of the people do not have it. So from my point of view, what I have seen, and I give you very interesting examples how creative Mexicans are. So hotels are closed, restaurants are closed, and then there's people like which have services for the event organizers, because this is one of the biggest industry here as well. And I give you a very, very creative person who he has, I think, like 50 waitresses that you can order for your private events. So just 2 nights ago, I received a message, and he says, well, we can't, or we would like to, but we can't offer you the waiter. But what we can do for you, we can go to the groceries for you. We can do the bank lines, which are now, like, just today, one of my friends were in a bank line 6 hours.
Oh my God.
Outside with the sun, with all of that. We can do the line for you. We can do like, this is creativity. This is like, I'm not going to bankruptcy. I have 50 people that I need to find a way how to survive. Those 50 people need to eat. And this, what we need to do. We cannot go into deep depression. Oh my God, there's no, for him, he's exactly in the same environment, but he found a way. And I have seen like the guys are literally doing the things. So what is your thing? The same field that you are. Can you reinvent that? Can you do it differently? So think about that first. Don't give up all your work. Maybe you've been doing your business for 20 years and now you're like, oh my God, I need to close down. Do you? Maybe you haven't think it. Maybe you can go online. Maybe you need to go online. Like you haven't done it because you don't have skills and it's your weakness. So how do you take care of this? You just learned a new skill, and your weakness is going to be your strength. So do it. We're in a comfort zone. We still want the government to take care of us, or someone to come and say, you know what, nothing is going to happen, everything is going to be. Yes, everything is going to be. There's no way. We need to survive. So it's going to be fine. But you can take the most of it.
And I love that piece, and that people need to recreate themselves. And I honestly feel that, the last time that we had that economy, that really dropped. I mean, Uber was born during that time, and Airbnb was born during that time. So we have to reinvent the way we do things. I mean, if you are a restaurant and you're cooking and you have to close your restaurant, I would go online and start teaching people how to cook a recipe, to gain visibility, to gain an audience, to have people say, when this is over and I go to your location, where are you at again? Yeah. Where are you located?
I'm in Los Cabos, Mexico.
In Los Cabos. So when these restaurants are closing and they're promoting recipes and how they make this delicious food and El Cabos, and then when I go there, I'm going to go look for that restaurant because they illustrated something in a video very delicious, and the way they cooked it and prepared it, and maybe the way they were eating, it makes me want to go to El Cabos when all this is over. The same thing for bakers. If you're a baker and your bakery closed, start making cakes online. Like right now, virtual teaching and the way of doing things is going to be online. It's going to be a big burst. So people have to hop on that wagon, don't you think?
Yes, of course. And I think, but the most important part is it starts from inside. Like, are we really awakened? We have tendency to be addicted to distraction. That means that instead of taking the book, instead of going and doing it, now there's so many resources for free. Go take a course, take something that as we just were talking about going online. If you don't know how to do, go and learn. Don't go and just waste the time to watch the negative news, which you're like getting more and more and more of it, and you're like, even without going outside, you were sick.
Exactly.
Because all of those negative, the negative energy, just it's so heavyweight, and it swallows you.
It does. And you know what? I interviewed another expert because I've been interviewing a lot of experts. So I ask those of you that are listening to the replay and you come back, that you go back and watch it from the beginning, because Ragne has shared a lot of her knowledge on ways to snap out of this uncertainty and take action, and some of her great ideas on how she put them into action and how it has impacted so many people. So what we're asking is that you like, and that you share this interview, because we want to impact not only one person, we want to impact a lot of people that are either stressing, they feel uncertain, they don't know what to do, they're living in fear, and we're all in lockdown. So I'm hoping that you're watching this and that you share it, because I truly believe that the deeper this interview goes, if you refer it to a friend and the friend refers it to another and another, and then when it goes to that fifth level, we impact people that are truly, truly in need. And we're hoping that you're the one that shares it with that one person to really make a difference. Ragne works with powerful women and really impacts people. So, Ragne, I know that you're talking about, on how people can take advantage of this time instead of like shutting down, and really falling in love with their passion and living it instead of looking for it. Because a lot of people end up looking and looking and looking, and they never really find themselves. But how about if you're in the moment right now, even if you're in lockdown, you're in the moment and you begin to live your passion. So can you give them a way that they can really do that, like right now, even if they're in lockdown?
You know what I always do when I'm in a terms where it's everything is moving, and I just wish that it stops and I can just jump off the train. No? I step back, and I think what we don't do daily is the reflection. You need to take the reflection time. So you need to understand where you are today in order to change your tomorrow. So when we go very deep into ourselves and understanding, okay, this is here, I have made these decisions, and now because of those decisions, I'm here. I have two choices, whether those decisions will define me, or I will find a way how I can live the life that I really, really want. That means that we need to get to work and we need to get it done. Mm-hmm. How? There's many, many ways, but what we are mostly where we are stuck is here. Mm-hmm. So that means that we have self-doubt. We have fears. We have so many excuses. And sometimes it's like you see very self-confident person, and you would say like, wow, that person doesn't have any problems or any worries. Those people also experience those moments where the self-doubt, mm-hmm, the insecurity will be something why they cannot accelerate and go to the next level. So I want you to really look inside you. First, see what are your self-doubts if you have them. What are the fears? What excuses are you today using in order not to do things? Why you are in the comfort zone now? Mm-hmm. When you have clarified those, then the self-talk, how to talk yourself to yourself. Is it positive or is it negative? Like, I can't do it anyways. Or, yes, I can, and I will do anything to get it. And also the promises that we give to ourselves. Usually our life doesn't work because we always break the promises that we made to ourselves, not even to others, to ourselves. And we thought, nothing happens. But that's why we're in the same place, doing the same things with the same people, and then we're like, and we desperately want different results. Can't get them. Because and in today's situation especially, look from who are you asking help? Mm-hmm. If you want to earn your first million, don't ask from the person who never have done it.
Exactly.
Nobody is a coach. If you want to, and especially, please, don't ask help from your family or your family.
I know.
They don't know. So reach out to us. We are here. We can brainstorm. And actually, a good coach will never say what to do. but they will ask the right questions,
Mhm.
and the answers are yours to give.
Absolutely. I love that. And you know, everybody needs a coach, they need a mentor. And if you don't have one, you need to find one, because sometimes when your mind or your inside, your inner words are louder than you, your coach will hold you accountable with the things that you said you were going to do. And if you don't do them, then you have to tell the person why you didn't. And sometimes that stress is a little more um, like embarrassing to say, well, I didn't do it because of this. And that person will break your cycle, break your pattern so that you could really get it done. So, Ragne, how can people reach you and contact you and work with you?
Well, the easiest way is obviously via Facebook. I'm open. You can always write me via Facebook. Also, we started with new talk shows, which is the how to dominate your ticket under those circumstances. So follow. Come to those calls, because there you can ask questions. Like if you have a very specific question, come and ask them. So there's going to be, besides me, a lot of different fields, the coaches, authors, public speakers, experts, leaders. So come and join us and ask the questions publicly. And write me, Ragne at worldwomanconference.com.
Mm-hmm. So I really want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank everybody who's watching. We're asking that you share, that you comment, you ask questions. We'll come back and we will look at your comments. If you could write the link below, Regne, that would be easy for people to kind of click on it and find. So
Sure.
we're asking that you comment. If you have any questions, how can you live your passion? How can you love what you do? And then how can you achieve and find support? We kind of talked about all this in this interview, so go back and watch it from the beginning. Take time, because it will help you. And we're hoping to help a lot of people that are inside at homes, locked up, and having a lot of uncertainty. I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood. I'm a human expert and learning expert. And you can find me in the Master Manifester. And I'm going to have a 3-day challenge for those of you that want a challenge. Then it's on creating your vision board. So follow me there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing. We're going to break that little pattern that we're all going into right now. And hopefully Ragne would join us and have fun. But really find her. I love her energy. If you are a woman and you are empowering, connect with her. Even if you're not, you feel that you lost your power and you need to find yourself, I really recommend Ragne. She is a beautiful soul, a beautiful person that will help you live your passion, not find your passion. She will help you live your passion. Yeah, so thank you. Any last words?
Yeah, thank you, Angelica, for your time, for inviting me. Thank you, everybody which is watching. Uh, first of all, change your habits. Then get to work and get it done. And if you don't know how to do it alone, then yeah, look me up.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, have an amazing day and stay tuned to the next expert that's coming up.